What's up, traders? I want to talk about volume profile in a video series here on TradingView that I'm going to try to keep up with to teach people how to use volume profile as an indicator. This indicator has just been amazing for finding key turning point supports and resistances for trading, not only in day trading, but long term. And today was just a really great example on the S&P 500 mini futures that I have to share. And I just want more people to know about it. I want to shout it from the hilltops. This is what my typical chart looks like. There's a lot of junk on here. That's actually junk. These are lines that I've drawn. But as a teaching example, I want to go through and show where I draw these lines and why the level today was so clear and so useful. So we're looking at a daily chart right now of S&P 500 futures. And what I like to do as my either my morning homework or my weekly homework is I want to go through and I want to find the key levels using the periodic volume profile. We can find that by going to volume profile under indicators, and there's session volume profile, which is going to be for the day or the session, but I like the periodic volume profile. And that is, we don't need that one. I want to set that to the weekly. All right. So we're going to do the period of 1 week. And so what that's going to do is that's going to give us the volume profile for each week. Now, what is volume profile? Volume profile is a histogram. You're going to see it here on the left-hand side, and that is basically telling you where price was traded the most according to volume. And of course, you're going to see instances where it's very clear that there's a lot of consolidation, a lot of trading happen, but that's also going to be backed up by volume. And what it does is it incorporates all of that volume and comes up with levels where here is a node where I like to talk about. That's like a bulge in the histogram. And then the red line is going to be the point of control. That's going to be the place where the most trading, most was done within that period. And so, what I'm going to do with my homework going into a trading day, a trading session as part of my routine is I'm going to go back through and I'm going to find major levels. And let's just go to this morning. Let's use the think back, not think back. I'm thinking about something else, and know that I want to find where has price trading around this level, this 51,825. And for the last several weeks, each of these histograms being a week, price has been well above it, but we've started to undergo a little bit of a pullback here on the market. And so we're starting to see price come test levels that it made back in mid March. Okay. So the two levels that I'm going to notice very keenly is going to be back here in this week right here, which is the week of starting March the 10th. And so I'm going to update my point of control to that level. Oops. I'm going to update my point of control to that level there. Now, one little trick that I want to kind of note about how I start looking at volume profile is we're looking at a 30-minute right now, but the more granular you get, and by the way, one of the ways that I have this set up to see a lot more fine levels is I change the row size to 1,000. That way I can actually find proper exact levels because that's what's going to be important when day trading. We're going to go back a little bit further to this period in time here. And then I'm actually going to dig down to the 5 minute and I'm going to get really super granular with my levels here. Be very specific. Come on. Sometimes it takes a little while for the periodic volume profile to populate. We'll see if it can do that. Okay, maybe it's not going to. All right, we'll do 30-minute. That's fine. And so there we have this level here from that month right there or that week. And then right below it, we have another one at 575. This is another volume profile node. So we'll just take a look at that. Okay. And so those are going to be the relevant levels we know. That's going to be our homework is to go back and find where were these levels back during the last couple of weeks when price comes down to retest these levels. And so as we go into this morning, we have those two levels right there. And let's go down to the 5 minute. And this is today's price action here. So this is Wednesday. Yesterday morning, we had that CPI print, which was inflation was higher than they expected. So market go down. And then we start going into this morning. We have a little bit of a news print here, comes down and pings that level. But now that we're getting into the day trading hours of 9:30, I want to reevaluate my level here at 83.50. Okay. And so I want to go through and go to the 5 minute and then evaluate this low right here. I want to see, okay, what is the level here that really is the point of control for all this price right here? And so I can kind of update and refine my volume profile here in the recent terms as that level right there. And so that is going to be the level that I'm looking at for going into the day trading this morning. And so as price goes along, we get into about 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'm going to start looking to see, all right, well, I'm a contrarian, so I want to try to bottom pick here. I do think that the market is bearish at this point, but for day trading, it can go either way. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to set up along off this level right here. And really and truly, the turns at these levels are very, very, very key. And so we get into that level and go long. And remember, this is a volume profile level from a month ago. It didn't quite get down to our level right here. That's where it spiked on news. But this became a very, very key level. It's a combination of the volume profile from a month ago, from the week of March the 11th, all the way to this pre market, this pre news, little bit of consolidation right here. And man, did that hold very well. And then as price comes up, I'm going to be looking. By the way, I also use the drawing tool. I forgot to mention that the fixed range volume profile. And that is going to be really, really key for finding the near term volume profile. And so in this run up, now we have two eras of price to analyze. We've got the post news up until the open, which is going to put us at a level here. And so we can use that as a possible target. And we can also use the leg down, the trend down as another possible target. And that's going to be at, I believe it was 106. And so from there to there, that is what we would do as a trade. And if you want to do a position on there, this is the way that you probably want to set up a trade. Now, it depends on what kind of stop you want to give it. I would want to put it in between these two volume profile levels because if it breaks below this one, it's going to go to the next one. You don't need that much of a stop. Or you could even go to below that level right there, get a 2-to-1, but I like a 3-to-1. And so essentially, that ends up being our trade for this morning. And then we're going to watch and see what happens at these levels. It's going to come up. This was another cool thing today. So another thing you can watch with the fixed range volume profile, if you have a running contract on, is you can watch the volume profile as it progresses. And so as this trend starts to move its way up, let's just do this. Like when we get to here, we'll notice that our volume profile is down here around 89. But as more trading happens in this area, now all the buyers, you can think about this in narrative terms. The buyers are sitting up here. This is where they have started buying it to try to defend this level. And then eventually you're going to get a little bit of a run up to about that 206 level. And so now we can update to here. So our volume profile is now sitting at 96. Keeps on moving up. And that's where we can think that the buyers are going to defend as the day goes along. It spikes it, barely holds it again, and we could have even taken another trade up there. And then oh 06 becomes the level that it then responds to again, comes up, finally breaks it. And that was where it kind of defends it there, holds that. Well, you already know the result. We're up about 52.50 right now today. But it's just so fascinating to sit here and watch price respond to these levels. That final spike you saw right there, that was the final buy right there at that level. Again, this was the volume profile for this post news right here. And you notice how it kind of held it, came down and spiked it. NASDAQ spiked at the same time, and it just launched, yeeted straight off that final level. And so that's 50 points off a level of volume profile that was from a month ago, matching with the pre-market volume profile as well. And then you can also see how price like to stair step, respond to the level, break it, kid it there, hold it, spike it, and then the buyers took control. And that is the story of today's price action. It's all based on volume profile. Like I said, I've been doing this for a very long time. And I only in the last few months, friends of mine were trading volume profile. I engaged in a little bit of humility and decided to learn to do it myself. And man, it's great. And I'll save for another video looking at longer term price action in terms of like stocks, even on the daily or the weekly volume profile. Still very, very useful. But day trading, as for these last few weeks, they've been the best of my career, hands down, hands down. So, highly encourage you guys to start using volume profile. If you have any more questions, you got my links to Discord below where I traded this live in my futures trading room. I don't charge people for it because I just want to have an active community. So, come join me there and stay tuned for the next video. Trade wisely.